Alright, welcome back everyone. So we have done quite a bit of work since the last video here. Hasn't taken much time at all. Steve came over and helped me out, got the drive shaft put in, got my shifter linkage all hooked up, and modified my transmission bracket to accept the ZF trans. So that's all dialed in. Started changing the wiring on my crankshaft sensor. I already kind of completed that. I just got to wrap a couple things up and whatnot. So here's where we're at right now. So engine's in the car. Got the wiring harness fixed up a bit. Changed the crank sensor wiring from a Hall effects sensor hookup to a VR, since this M50 is not a Hall sensor like my M52 was. So I had to pull this wiring out of here as well. I already went ahead and changed the wires in this part of the harness, so Hall Tech knows it's a VR sensor. I'll just have to update the software and make sure it knows it's a VR sensor before we fire. Just got to plumb some vacuum stuff, get the intercooler piping back on. Crankcase breather lines, I got to fix one end. Kind of popped off here, the piece that I made, so I got to redo that guy. I already made a new turbo drain line. Mine was leaking, so I went ahead and just replaced it. Made a whole new one. That way I don't have any problems. So yeah, that's what we're working on today. Alright everybody, I've been really bad the last couple days. Actually been kind of a little bit stressed out with a few things. We changed over to a VR sensor because of the engine that we got from the E36 did not have a spot to put the Hall sensor I had on my M52 on it. We did that, we got the car kind of running. It runs really poorly actually. So I had to order a Euro M52 cam or crank sensor that mounts to the front of the engine instead of the rear of the engine like my M52. So UPS totally screwed me on that as well. They're supposed to get next day air, and for some reason my sensor went to Billings, Montana from California. I don't understand that, but it is what it is. So I'm waiting for that. In the meantime, I did get a bunch of other stuff done. I'm just going to show you some of that stuff right now. So we're pretty much just waiting for that sensor and then get it over onto the dyno, and then hopefully get loaded up Thursday and get to the event Friday evening. So here's where we're at. It's pretty much reassembled, headlights, all that stuff. I just got to toss the bumper back on, no big deal. I did order and finally get some new tires. My front tires were pretty shot. I'm going to try out these Hankook RS4s. I've heard a lot of good things, and I like to have really sticky tires on the front of my car so I don't run into problems. I did install the oil cooler. It's kind of cool. It bolted up like perfect in these two bolt holes on this core support, so I'm pretty happy about that. I got the electronic boost controller set up, so I just got to get that set up in my software and then get it tuned. But everything's ready to go. It kind of fires, just doesn't run very well. Yeah, so we're just about there. You know, I don't know if everybody's seen the inside, but we have this thing wired up with a race pack and all that good stuff, and it's a cool car. I enjoy this thing a lot, so hopefully we can get it running and make the event as soon as UPS decides to get their heads out of the behinds and get me my sensor. So that's where we're at right now. I'll probably just do another video tomorrow when we're on the dyno, hopefully. So yeah, that's where we're at.